Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's Daily Dispatch. I'm Julie Roginsky here with Michelle Kinney. We are of the Mayday Network, and we are here to talk about the United States Open. I'm wearing my US Open hat from 2010. Michelle's wearing hers from this year. She was lucky enough to go. But Michelle, the reason we're here to talk tennis is not really because we're here to talk tennis, although I'd love to do that too. But we are here to talk about the United States Tennis Association organization and what they are mandating, or not, maybe not mandating, but strongly requesting that United States broadcasters and other broadcasters all around the world do, because Donald Trump and Melania are planning on showing up today at the Arthur Ashe Stadium in Flushing Meadows, Queens, for the men's final of the U.S. Open. Why don't you go ahead, Michelle, because you have been more outraged about this than anybody.
Yeah, I will say me and Eliza Orleans, if you don't follow her, she's a huge tennis fan. I was actually messaging with her last night about how messed up this is. So I'm just going to show you this off the bat. So this is a tennis journalist. His name's Ben Rothenberg. He has, sorry about the sirens, it's like never ending. He has a Substack. It's called Bounces. And he reported last night, more news breaking at Bounces about Donald Trump's visit to the U.S. Open men's final. The U.S. Open sent an email to broadcasters obtained by Bounces, ordering them to censor any reactions or protests from the crowd to Trump's appearance. Now, doesn't this sound familiar? And here's the Substack itself. Please go check it out. Subscribe to his Substack if you like tennis. He's great. This is an email obtained by Bounces, includes instructions from the U.S. Open on supporting Trump's planned stagecraft during the national anthem. And here's the actual text of the internal email. With respect to broadcast coverage, the president will be shown on the world feed and the Ashe Court feed during the opening anthem ceremony, which begins at 2:00. I'm just saying this now, and it's not in the email. It's going to be about 20 minutes from now. The email goes on to say, we ask all broadcasters to refrain from showcasing any disruptions or reactions in response to the president's attendance in any capacity, including ENG, which means electronic news gathering coverage. This is insane. I didn't think I could be shocked anymore, Julie, and this genuinely shocked me.
Well, my friends, here's the thing for those of you who may not be in New York City today the way that Michelle and I are. It is raining here in New York today, which is good news, because what that means is that the Arthur Ashe Stadium, which typically is open air, has a roof, and the roof will have to be put on because, as I said, it's raining, and it's supposed to rain throughout the night, which means that if there are any boos, they're not going to be gone with the wind, kind of in the ether of Queens, New York, Flushing Meadows. They will be contained within the stadium. And I will say this about the U.S. Open crowd. It is a wealthier crowd than most games. You're not getting the bleachers crowd necessarily from Yankee Stadium or Shea Stadium, or not Shea, God, this is how old I am, Citi Field Stadium, which is right next door to the Arthur Ashe Stadium and to the whole Flushing Meadows Sports Complex, tennis complex. But what you are getting is a massive stadium where rank and file New Yorkers do sit. They may not be sitting in the boxes with JP Morgan.
Right. But the higher ups especially, I mean, those, listen, if you went to go buy a ticket today on StubHub, it would be like, I looked, it was like $1,000. It's crazy. But if you are, a fan that maybe bought them when they went on sale, I mean, they're like a little more on the affordable side for the average person to sit up in the nosebleed section. And the capacity for this stadium, Arthur Ashe Court, is over 23,000. Like it's really, really, really big for a tennis court stadium. And comparatively to the other Grand Slams. Now, comparatively to Wimbledon or the French Open or Australian Open, the American crowd is always is known more for being a little rowdier because it's America, it's New York, right? We're a little louder. We have a different set of decorums. But that being said, like Donald Trump is not liked in New York City. It doesn't matter that he's from here. I'm always surprised when I run into people from around the country who are like, well, but he's from New York. I'm like, no, that's why we don't like him. That's why we don't like him.
We know him and we don't like him. And
we know him better than anybody.
And I will tell you, the deal with the crowd at Arthur Ashe is not just the crowd inside the stadium, but it's the crowd outside stadium. Because if you could picture an Olympic village, the sports complex at Flushing Meadows is kind of like a little village in and of itself.
Yeah, it's like walking into Disney World, kind
Yeah,
of like,
exactly.
you know what I mean? That's kind of the vibe that I get when I go there.
Exactly. And so there are people showing up who don't have tickets, who are going to be,
who are going to, you can get a ground pass for today.
Yeah, who are hanging out on the grounds and are watching in the screen. And when they go to Donald Trump, you will hear a wail go up that you will be able to hear on the 7 train, which is the subway that you take to Flushing Meadows. And, you know, we're not talking about the people, as I keep saying, who are sitting, you're not talking about the celebs who are sitting in the front row. You're not talking about JP Morgan, who's presenting the check, or Rolex, who's hosting Trump, I guess, today. Michelle, you have an interesting theory as to why this is happening. But we're talking about normal New Yorkers, including people from Queens, for whom this is a big deal. And if people who don't know New York, if I could just explain sort of where this all is. You have the tennis complex adjacent, like almost hard adjacent to Citi Field. I don't know whether the Mets are playing today.
But I don't think so, because Yankees are home today. So I don't
know. Maybe the Mets are too. I don't know what's happening. But you also have Ozone Park. Like, there are things right there. There's a park there that people in that neighborhood use. If you ever watch Men in Black, the old World's Fair from the 1960s.
My mom was at that World's Fair.
What was it, in the 60s? Maybe. That big globe is there. So it's kind of a very compact area where a lot of New Yorkers hang out, not necessarily people who are going to be inside that stadium. But I'm telling you right now, when they project his face onto those screens, I don't know what you're going to be seeing and hearing inside the stadium, but you're going to be hearing this outside the stadium. The question, yes, he did attend
10 years ago.
Yes, from people who are listening to us and not watching, there's a question from J-Mac. Did Trump ever attend the U.S. Open before? He did, and he got booed. And, you know, people are more scared now. I don't think it's unfair to say that people are more cowed now.
Yeah. Although that was before he was president and people booed him.
But that's but that's New York. I mean, he might have attended in the first year. I can't remember when he attended last. But
no, I think it was 2015.
Was it 2015? Okay.
Yeah. He
really was booed. But this is not a man who's beloved. And by the way, I spent years, and I mean years, at Fox News listening to them talk about snowflakes and, oh, these little Democratic snowflakes, and they can't take criticism, and these college students, they need to have their safe spaces. He is creating a safe space for himself. They are creating a safe space for him. And Michelle, you have a wonderful theory as to why, which never occurred to me until you told me, but why don't you share it?
Yeah. So Rolex, if you don't know, Rolex, obviously, you know, that's a brand for rich people. I mean, the US tennis brings brands and sponsorships from like very luxury, you know, items and brands like Tiffany and Rolex. Like Tiffany makes the little trophy and everything. Rolex, their name is everywhere. Rolex obviously is going to have a bunch of seats, the boxes, right? They're a Swiss company. They are on the receiving end, you know, hurting from these tariffs from Donald Trump. And there are theories that this is a last-ditch diplomacy, bit of diplomacy from them, being like, hey, please spare us. Please spare Rolex from your tariffs. And so, Donald Trump, please come to the US Open. It will be wonderful. And don't think for a second that Rolex didn't go to the USTA and the US Open and say, listen, we're inviting Donald Trump because we need this for our business, because where our bottom line matters, and we're not going to be able to sponsor you next year if we don't have money and we're not selling watches. So he's going to come and y'all are going to be nice to him. And, you know, we're going to make sure that we protect him and fluff him up like everybody does everywhere all the time. Nobody can tell Donald Trump that he's not pretty. And he's going to walk into a very hostile environment, very hostile.
Yeah. And by the way, let's assume that Donald Trump says, yes, Rolex, you have your exclusion. You don't have to be tariffed like everybody else from Switzerland, like Lind. chocolate and others, Nestle, other Swiss companies are going to be tariffed. So, it's fascinating when you are going to get a Rolex for Christmas this year because you can afford one, which is, I don't know, what, $30,000 to start. I don't even know what a Rolex, probably less, but it's in the thousands of dollars. When you get that Rolex, that's not going to be subjected to tariff. But don't buy Barbie because that will be subjected to tariff because while Mattel is an American company, the parts that Barbie is made with come from and is assembled somewhere else. So, Barbie's going to cost you an arm and a leg, whatever Barbie costs. I don't have a daughter, so luckily I've never had to buy a Barbie in recent times. But middle class families and working class families, you're going to be tariffed with Barbie and GI Joe, whatever other toys are made abroad.
Right.
But Rolex, no problem, no problem.
Right.
Rich people, don't worry about it. Go get yourself a Rolex. It's going to be fine. I mean, just the cognitive dissonance of what this man is saying, how he was saying that he's going to be standing for the working class, how people in the, working class people bought it. Why would they ever have bought it from somebody like that? A man who literally has gold-plated toilets at Trump Tower. So listen, it's going to be interesting to see whether the crowd is going to be cowed.
Well, I can tell you, I've got somebody inside the stadium sending me updates. First of all, I just got an update from the US Open app that says that due to security measures, they're pushing to 2:30 because they have full TSA situation going outside Arthur Ashe. So everybody's getting like searched and all that stuff. So my friend wrote this to me. That he entered the box where the trophy is. Crowd booed mostly, some claps. And then I guess he left that box without stealing the trophy this time. Crowd not full yet, probably because of all the security. So he sent me this video. So I'll just throw this up. Yeah, like there's nobody there yet. That'll all be full soon.
Release the Epstein files. Boo!
So it must be down there, like right where everybody's pointing.
Well, he just went something very small.
Yeah, let me see if he zooms in. It doesn't seem like he is. But again, like apparently they're going to bring him out, during the anthem ceremony. So they usually do like the America the Beautiful thing, I think, in the anthem. And I think he's going to be, I guess that then the camera will pan on him.
Well, so think about this, because this happened during the soccer tournament a couple of months ago.
Right.
If I am either of these two men, whoever is going to win the US Open.
Alcaraz, Sinner.
Yeah. I mean, whether it's Sinner or Alcaraz. And you are about to win one of the big tournaments of your career. And if Trump tries to go down there during the trophy presentation and during the check presentation, he's going to try.
Which again, okay.
They did that for soccer.
It was so inappropriate when he went on stage. All the players were like looking at you. Actually, the captain, I believe, of the team, whose name I should know and I don't, looked at him holding the trophy, because like in soccer they all do this and they go with the trophy, and then so he's like, right before they do that, he looks at Donald Trump and he's like, "You can leave now." And you can see him saying that. He's like, "You can leave now." And Donald Trump is kind of like confused because he's like, "No, I'm the president. I'm not leaving." So they're like, "Okay," and they do it anyways. And he just kind of gets pushed to the back.
Yeah.
And for tennis, like after the person wins, there's a ceremony that happens immediately after, and it's very intimate. And they interview the person who won, and then they interview the person who didn't win, and it's like a lot of, there's a lot of respect and sportsmanship, and it's really lovely, like how tennis does this, and everyone speaks very highly of each other. And that is the opposite of what Donald Trump is. Donald Trump is not a gracious loser. He's hardly a gracious winner. This is part of the match that is not going to resonate with him at all.
That's a great point, because if you watched the women's yesterday, they were both incredibly gracious.
Yeah, they always
Both
are.
both incredibly gracious to each other. And I mean, really gracious, both in losing and in winning. And I assume the same is going to happen today because both Sinner and Alcaraz are, I think,
Oh yeah, and they have great respect for each other.
yeah.
You know, they see each other all year long. Yeah.
And yesterday, I'm not sure who's going to be presenting the trophy today, but yesterday, Chrissy Everett presented the trophy
Mm-hmm.
to the winner of the women's. And is Trump going to take that trophy away from whoever the Chrissy Everett equivalent
Right.
is?
Right.
Um,
Be like, oh, it's mine. Because like the FIFA guy, like let him have it in the Oval Office. I'm like, no, dude, this isn't yours. This is again,
but
it's
he
the
said
Purple
nothing to
Heart.
earn it.
Right. He doesn't want to earn anything.
Yeah.
It's all about the Nobel Peace Prize. It's about the Purple Heart. I've always wanted a Purple Heart. I guess this is much easier,
Yeah.
Mr. Draft Dodger. You know, and this is just what he is. He likes to have nice shiny things. He likes to be told he's pretty, and he likes to be given things that he didn't earn. And that's just been his entire life. And
Yeah.
he's never been held account for it. Never.
Yeah. But I guess the question for me is, why is he there? Because it's not going to end well for him. He's
No.
going to get booed.
Mhm.
He's not, he's going to get disrespected. He doesn't actually care about tennis. It's not his thing. He's never cared about tennis. It's not, wrestling,
Mhm.
mixed martial arts.
Right. It's not UFC
Yeah.
with Dana White.
Exactly. It's not like anybody in the USTA organization is, as far as I know, a Dana White figure.
No.
I guess it's to get some airtime on people's television screens, but I don't think it's going to end well. And, did he think it ended well with him with soccer? Because he was kind of a joke.
Yeah, everyone was laughing at him. It wasn't even like people were mad or disgusted with him. People were laughing at me like, "Well, you loser. Like, what are you doing? Like, you stupid old man." Like that's really kind of what it was. Because again, Trump wants everyone to think that he's a strong man. And in a lot of ways he is in the definition of the word of the dictator's authoritarianism and in the book that Ruth Ben-Ghiat wrote, strong man. But Donald Trump is the opposite. Donald Trump is a weak man. He's a very weak man.
If Vladimir Putin went to a sports event in Moscow, he would genuinely get cheered, right? He would. And maybe if Donald Trump stuck around for 20 years and repressed all independent media and made everything into Fox News, he would raise a generation of Americans who would also genuinely cheer him.
I'm sorry.
But that generation is not today. And those people are not in Flushing Meadow today.
And he's not going to live long enough to see that.
And he's not going to live long enough to see that. And so we say that to say that whatever he thinks he's looking for in Flushing Meadow, the validation that he wants in his home borough of Queens.
That's the thing too, Julie, that gets me is like Donald Trump and the Trumps are from Queens. Like they were slumlords in Queens. And his whole chip on his shoulder thing was like that he wanted to be accepted into Manhattan real estate. And he was going to go to Manhattan as this like kind of rough around the edges Queens guy. And, everybody thought they were better than him. And so he goes to Manhattan and he, has some success, but he never really.
And here's the thing, that crowd is the US Open today.
That's right.
That crowd. If you want to know who is at the US Open today, I guarantee you members of the Tishman family and the Slider family and all of these other real New York City developers, the people who really develop Manhattan.
Right.
Related, those guys. Now, I know they're all friendly with Trump.
Yeah.
But those people are going to be in the room today.
They're friendly with him, but they only because they kind of have to be. You know what I mean?
They're going to watch as he gets booed. And for him, nothing is going to be more humiliating, despite the fact that he's president of the United States, than to have those people watch him get booed and not accolades and not cheers. Now, I don't know whether they have somehow gotten enough people to start cheering for him to drown out the boos, whether there are enough tickets that they somehow purchased to do that. I don't think so. You can't feel it.
Doubt it. You buy these like weeks ahead of time. I mean, it's just there. And there's just no, it's the whole thing is just sort of mind boggling. the hubris and also just the lack of self-awareness. And, you know, and we were talking yesterday, I think it was yesterday, about the World Cup and the other sporting events that we participate in and how we're hosting the World Cup and we are hosting the Olympics here in a couple of years. And how, you know, this is not a place that people want to come anymore because it's not safe. And Alcaraz is Spanish. Sinner is from Italy. Like, these players are from all over the world. And actually, the female who won yesterday is Belarusian. Am I saying that right? Belarusian?
Yeah, but she couldn't play under her own flag because we don't
Right.
know the Russians and
Right.
Belarusians to play under their own flags.
Right.
I think she trains here. I don't know where Sinner and Alcaraz train. I don't know if they train in Florida or somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm actually not entirely sure.
I'm not sure. But the reality is these are basically traveling, you know, iterant preacher type people, right?
Yeah.
They may train in Florida or they may train in Spain or wherever they all train, but the reality is they don't stay in one place too long.
No.
They're really citizens of the world. Like I know Medvedev, I think, was living in Monte Carlo. I think a lot of them live in Monaco for tax reasons.
So funny.
But the reality is, you know, she certainly, I don't think, lives in Minsk. I know that's where she's from, but she's certainly not living in Minsk. I don't think Minsk has the ability to have that kind of training, not the least of which is it's kind of cold there in the winter.
Right.
But look, the problem here for him is that nobody cares about him around the world. If they think about him at all, they think about him as a malignant force.
Yes, and I want to.
We here are forced to think about him because we have no choice.
Oh, right.
But I can guarantee you, Alcaraz is a sinner to the extent they think about politics at all, which I'm sure they're probably a little busy to do. Don't give much thought to him.
No, and I saw a tweet from Tara, our friend Tara Setmeyer, this morning. She's in Italy. She's been in Italy, staying at a friend's house, celebrating her birthday and her anniversary. And she tweeted this morning, and I thought it was really telling. She said, "I've been overseas the last 2 weeks, and I can't begin to tell you how alarmed folks are about what's happening in the US. There is a sense of confusion, sadness, and fear. Not one person we talk to wants to come to America. Usually it's the opposite. Not anymore." Shaking my head. Trump has destroyed our standing around the globe.
So you know that I have a tremendous amount of family in France, and I go to France all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm incredibly close to them. And one of my French cousins is an architect, and he is just got a contract to build something in LA, which is wonderful for him. He's trying to do more stuff internationally outside of France, and it's a huge deal. He's in his early 30s. It's a big deal for somebody that young, especially.
Yeah.
You know, he came to LA for the first time. He's been to New York many times. He's never been to LA. I want to say a month ago or so, I was going to meet him there. It turned out it just didn't work out for me. But the one thing he said to me is, he goes, "Do I need to erase anything on my phone?" And I said, "Well, do you really talk about American politics on your phone?" And he said, "No, not really." He said, "But maybe I might have had like an eye roll emoji about some stupid meme that I got, you know, about Trump, but not really." And I said, "Yeah, erase it. Erase everything. Erase everything." And I said, "And quite honestly, I know you have no choice. You just got this gig. You got to do it. But I'm not sure I'd be coming here." So it's a problem. I mean, it's a problem. And this is somebody who is doing business in the United States in the sense that he's bringing something of value to the United States. Now, could America hire American architects to do what he's doing? Sure. That probably would be MAGA's answer.
Right.
But what a loss.
Yeah.
What a loss. Because when you go to France and you go to the thing that is probably the most well-known in modern history, not modern history, but I guess in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
Thing that they built, it was the Ayam pyramid in the Louvre, right? Ayam is not French. Calatrava built the memorial at 9/11, the uprising, It's a transit hub.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Right downtown, right by where the World Trade Center used
Which,
to
by the way, and we can talk about this week before September 11th, but Donald Trump is trying to take over the 9/11 Memorial Museum. Keep going.
I did not know that. So my point is we have people from all over the world coming to enhance the beauty architecturally of our country, and we have Americans coming to do that in their countries. And no more. I mean, no more. You see, tourism has dropped off precipitously.
Oh, yeah.
As much as Ron DeSantis is sitting there beating his chest about MAGA, somebody should take a look at, because I did recently, tourism numbers for Orlando, where all the amusement parks are.
It can't be good.
Awful, especially international tourism. Awful. People are going to Euro Disney. They're not coming to Disney here anymore.
No. I mean, especially when does Disney Paris Disney, does that still exist? Yeah.
Disney. Yeah, it's in Paris, right outside Paris.
And there's one in Tokyo. It's like, why come here if you don't have to?
Here? Yeah, I think they're building.
And to that point, you know, I'm trying to pull up CBS New York. Okay. This clip came up on my phone this morning from August 30th. A new report, this is just in the city of New York, a new report found the private sector in New York City added just 1,000 jobs since the beginning of the year. New York added 66,000 last year and 150,000 in 2022.
Yep.
1,000.
Yep.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad. I will say, before we go, that there was a little bit of good news, I guess, out of this, all things considered. That ESPN, who, you know, controls the coverage for the US Open at least this year and most years, they said this, awful announcing, reported this, at least in this article. ESPN says it won't alter, who's calling me?
They're delaying the start until
Yeah.
2:30.
Yes, I know. And please don't, okay.
You said come tell me.
I'm on air right now. Thanks. Sorry. ESPN says it won't alter US Open coverage despite Trump's censorship request. So at least there's that. And you know, I think it'll be a test, right? I think it'll be a test. I mean, ESPN can say one thing and can do another. But you know, hopefully these people are journalists, whether they're sports journalists or food journalists or whatever, like their job is to tell the story.
Well, look at what they're doing. They're putting him on screen during the national anthem because they're going to bet that people are not going to boo the national anthem. Yeah. And that if they do boo the national anthem, boo him during the national anthem, the spin from MAGA count on it is going to be, look at these anti-American assholes. They're booing the national anthem. They're booing the United States. They hate America. It's not that they hate Trump. They hate America. So if you're in that stadium, do you boo during the national anthem? Like, that's a tough call.
I know, that is tough.
And so that's, I mean, the whole thing is kind of set to music. Understand what they're doing. They're being very cynical about the whole thing. But that is not to say that anybody at Flushing Meadow is happy to see him there. I mean, nobody. I know people who are very much in that whole New York City elite world who voted for Trump because they thought happy days would be here again with the economy. They're not so happy anymore.
Yeah.
My 13-year-old goes to school with some of these kids who are literally have MAGA written on their hands the day after the election, celebrating that Trump won because their parents work at Goldman Sachs, wherever they work. And I said to him, I go, today, as a matter of fact, I said, are they still happy about Trump? He started laughing. He goes, no, the market went down.
Yeah, because that's all people care about.
They're 13. They're 13.
But they're
not 13.
They're New York City 13.
That's my point.
For 13, right? It's like New York City children are a different breed. They are like little CEOs of their lives.
Of course.
They all, but it's like having grown up in, like, you know, rural America and moving to New York City and then being a babysitter and stuff. I was like, these children, they are like little adults. I mean, in a great way, sometimes not a good way, but mostly good. I mean, yeah. But yeah, I mean, they would know about this and have an opinion about it. It's really funny.
They're hearing about it at home. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
And so that's my point. Even the people who otherwise would be booing him, market's not doing so well this week. Market's not doing so well. Economy's not doing so well. market's going to shoot up when the Fed lowers rates for a little bit, but then long term, not so much.
Yeah.
Because we're looking at inflation
and recession.
Stagflation, my friends. All right. On that note,
Yeah.
who are you rooting for? You're rooting for Alcaraz, right, Michelle?
I love Alcaraz. Like, I saw his, gosh, when was it? 2021. It was the first year back after COVID. And I splurged on the first round tickets in Arthur Ashe, and I saw his first match. It was him and Iga that afternoon, and I was like, holy shit. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. He is an incredible athlete. Listen, Sinner's great too. I saw him play the other day. But, vamos Carlitos. Love him.
Iga did not have a great year.
No, she didn't.
Not have a great tournament. Okay, I will tell you that I actually don't care which one of them wins.
Listen, I'd be happy with either of them.
No, it's not because I don't care about tennis. I just legitimately
it's going to be great tennis. It's going to be
good tennis either way.
How many sets? How many sets do you think they play?
Oh, I don't know because they're both evenly matched.
I know. I bet you they go to 5.
I don't know. They could go to 5. I don't know.
Could be like 3 hours of tennis, 3-4 hours.
A long afternoon. And in the middle of that, I have to compete with my boys downstairs watching my husband and my son, who are breathlessly watching the Giants opening day. The Giants. And I'm here with you talking about tennis because I too couldn't care less about.
Yeah. Well, but once a year. Though, U.S. Open. So.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens, and maybe we'll come talk about it again tomorrow. All right, everybody.
And stay tuned. I know we mentioned the other day about having the retired Lieutenant Jag Marine to talk about war crimes and legality of like what the United States is doing. Most likely, it's going to be Tuesday night, just for schedule's sake and all that. So stay tuned. We'll put something up on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Hit that little bell so you'll be the first to know. And we'll see everybody soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.